How's it going, guys? NaNaNa Jericho here. Today I got a first video on a deck profile for a card game. Specifically, if you can't tell what this says, it's Buddyfight, and this is what this channel's all about. The deck profile is for Legend World, specifically Asgard's. So to start off, the Buddy is Powerful Battle Deity Magni. He's a 7/2/7, size 3. Put the top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge to call. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, choose one of the following 2. You may only use this ability once per turn. Stand this card, or for this turn, next time this card would be destroyed, nullify the destruction. This is a size 3 build of Asgard. Fun deck slash something I worked on a bit. But to start off, we have 4 copies of Valkyrie All-Knowing Awadol. She's a 3/1/1. The cards you cast with Great Spell and its card name cannot be nullified. And when this card is discarded from your hand, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw a card. It's simple for cards when I discard, such as for the Buddy and more cards. So 4 copies of Awadol. Next is 4 copies of Chaos Blade Joker. He's a 5/2/2. His call cost is pay 3 gauge, and when this card enters the field, a monster on your field gets +1 crit. Or when this card is discarded from your hand, you pay a life if you do. Call this card without paying its call cost. Good for giving my size 3s crit when it's discarded. Next is 3 copies of Loki the Estrages or something. 3/0/5. When it enters the field, put all cards from a soul of a card into the owner's drop zone. It could be any card such as a Thora, Requiem if they don't have the setup, such as the item or Abigail, so on and so forth. Next is 2 copies of Professor Menjo. He's a 100/1/100. Call cost is 1 gauge. Put 4 or more cards from your drop zone into the bottom of your deck in any order. Put the top 2 cards of your deck in your gauge. Then if you put 8 or more cards, you draw a card. Then if you put 12 or more, you could search for any card. Good for searching size 3s. For some, this one card that's not searchable. 2 copies of Guru Bunbuku. He's a 1/1/1. Counter, act, choose a monster on your field. You may discard this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, for this turn, the chosen card gets +3/+3. +3 the power, defense, and 1 critical, and move and penetrate. This is good for the size 3s if I don't have anything for like setup such as Chaos Blade, or if I don't have anything to discard. Next, 4 copies of the Buddy. Oh, and I forgot to mention he has natural double attack and soul guard. Alright. Next is 4 copies of Valkyrie Skull the Laminator the Future. She's a 7/3/5. Call cost is pay 2 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. Act. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, look at your deck or your opponent's deck and look at the top 3 and put them back in any order. If you do, draw a card. And it has move and soul guard. Next is 2 copies of Chaos Bloody King. He's a 8/2/7. His call cost is pay 3 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. And choose cards on your field, on your opponent's field, and You may discard a monster from your hand. If you do, destroy the chosen card. Just simple for discard and also cards to destroy. It's not even once per turn, so you could use this multiple times. Next is 2 copies of my favorite card in this deck, Overturn Ice Emperor Mazaria. His skill is, well, his stats are 826, size 3. Put up to 1 spell from your drop zone into this card's soul. Pay 2 gauge. Overturn. Pay 2 gauge during your main phase. Nullify all abilities of all cards on your field. On the field, return all other cards from each player's hand, drop zone, engage, to the owner's deck, shuffle their decks, and each player put the top 2 cards of their deck into the gauge and draw 6 cards. He doesn't leave, but he has also double attack, soul guard, and lifelink too. Pretty good, my favorite out of any overturn. And next is 1 copy of Fenrir, Curse of Vanargand. You pay 3 gauge, return an Asgard monster from your field into your hand. Counter, you discard 2 Legend World cards from your hand. If you do, you get to restand him for another 3 crit if you want. Next is up for the spell lineup. 4 copies of Ygnogard. Simple, discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. You may only cast Ygnogard once per turn. Good for discarding Awdol, or if I want to discard Chaos Blade. Just anyone to get off their abilities. Well, now I have the size 3 already. Next is Scorn of Gremlin. Solomon's Shield clone, nullify the attack if it's not a link attack. I think it's good because most of them are low defense, honestly, such as the Buddy, or, let's see, it's called the Laminator, like my size 3s in general. The only highest one, in my opinion, is Bloody King. But, yeah, wait, is it higher than Mazaria's? Mazaria has 6. Yeah, he's the highest one besides also Fenrir. So, yeah, that's Sworn of Gremlin. Next is 3 copies of Parasite. Don't get me to say the next word because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a set card. All size 3s monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by card effects. And when this card is destroyed by my opponent's card effects, put a monster from my drop zone into my hand. I might lower this a little because I might add 1 more of the next 2 cards after this. Mimus Burner. Discard a card from your hand, put the top card of your deck in your gauge. Put up to 1 Asgard monster, size 3 monster, from your deck into your hand. Shuffle your deck and you may cast this card once per turn. Good for searching my size 3s except Mazaria because he's not in Asgard. But why make him legend? I have no idea. 2 copies of Great Spell, I don't know the last word. But you may only cast this card at the end of the first battle during your opponent's turn. Pay 2 gauge and 2 life. The attack phase ends. Simple for bots, solutions, or probably a Thora if you want, but mainly bots. Next is Great Spell, Bifrost of Heaven and Earth. Pay a gauge, and its ability is choose one of the following 2, put an Asgard or dungeon enemy monster from your drop zone into your hand and you gain a life. Or draw a card and put all souls from a spell with set and the field into the drop zone. This is pretty good, just mainly for moving soul or wanting to get monsters back in general. For items, 3 Rune Staff and 2 Geimer Staff. Simple, just pay a gauge and a life to equip, pay a gauge to equip. For Rune Staff, if you don't know already, it's a 0/0 along with Geimer Staff. You do not have to pay the life of the cast cost of cards with great spell in its card name. Rest this card. You put the top card of your deck in your gauge. Same with this, but also for this, you get to discard a card, such as Awadal's or Chaos Blade. But you draw a card out of this, and yeah, this is the deck profile on my size 3 Asgards. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. If I should make any changes, comment below. Any future deck profiles. Yeah. Soon expect the vlog around May-ish, because the event for my regionals is May 27th. So I'm going to record that day. And hope you all enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Signing out till next video.